Hello, fabulous superstar Leo. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of December 2025. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. This month features 24 days of giving. The first 24 days of December, we have prizes every single day. Make sure that you are on my newsletter. You're following me on social media. All those links are below and enter every day for prizes. This month's full moon takes place on the 4th of the month, and this full moon happens in a friendship part of your sky, and it has to do with group endeavors, social events, whether it's professional groups or whether it is just connecting one-on-one with people that you consider to be friends or acquaintances, or that you're connected with in other ways as well. And so this is a very social part of the sky overall. But here's what's fascinating about this full moon. The full moon is standing across the sky from Mars and Venus both. And whenever we have what's called an opposition, it tends to bring with it tension, energies of tension. And you just might find some of that here. Both Mars and Venus are in a part of the sky at this point, having to do with what you really want, what's fun for you to do, what it is that feels like it's going to make you happy, what creative fulfillment looks like for you, whether it involves the children in your life and spending time with them, or you feeling like a big kid. And it's almost like what you really want, what you think is going to make you happy, is almost at odds with what is taking place with a group or with a particular person. And so sometimes it makes sense that it would be at odds if it's a professional group, for example, or it's a group that's more oriented around particular specific activities that aren't necessarily about just enjoying yourself and having a good time. However, this can also orient around those more personal friendships in your life as well. Sometimes you just want something different, and that's okay in terms of what you would like to do, what they would like to do. But other times it can really feel as if there's an energy here that could be a little bit confrontational. I'm so sorry to say, but it does happen. What I can say is it's Mars, it's Venus, whatever does show up, it's unlikely that it's going to feel like some surprise or some shock, but rather there's going to be a very organic understanding of whatever is transpiring, in some way speaking to, being reflective of some deeper underlying issues that might have been there for a while. It is a full moon, and full moons tend to bring what's already been there, usually for a while, to the surface. It helps us to get honest, especially emotionally honest, about what it is that is true for us, our emotional truth. And so, yeah, you might be feeling a whole lot, and there might be frustration as part of that. Now, sometimes it is as if a friend needs us. And so we show up, and you might be giving a lot of energy on that front, and it just feels like, okay, maybe there was something else you'd rather do, but you're going to be there for your friend. But at other times, it isn't so much that it is that you are showing up to be a good friend, but rather it can feel a little bit more challenging. So whatever does show up, it's going to be part of the characteristic of the relationship as it is, or of the group dynamic as it is already. So that's something to be mindful of. This just might represent a moment that allows you to find a deeper clarity and a new understanding with someone else. Now, as we navigate further, it is on the 10th of the month that Neptune will go direct. Neptune, I like to call Neptune the big sleep, right? And it is an energy of that very deep sleep and the stuff we're not aware of. But when Neptune goes direct, it tends to represent a moment where it's like we're woken up, but we still feel groggy in some way. It's like we are having to look at where we've been disappointed. Maybe there's deception. I'm sorry to say it does happen. Maybe there's disillusionment, or there's a sense that some idea you had, some desire, some fantasy, the reality is not matching that. But you're having to look at some reality at this time because it's quite apparent, even if it's hard to see. It is Neptune that is going direct. in a part of the sky for you that has to do with profound change, truth, transformation, regeneration. And so these are very personal matters, right? It has to do with your realization of what stays and what goes and who you really are, where maybe you had been going along a certain line, whether it's a line of behavior or way of being with another that didn't really honor some truth about you, but now you are seeing that you are understanding more deeply what is true for you and how you want to embrace that much more fully. So it's almost like it's an energy that is necessary. But this part of the sky also has to do with the wealth, your relationship with financial institutions, and really looking at what's going on with your loans, with your mortgage, with what's taking place with benefits you qualify for, with commission payments that you're owed. This might come into focus at this time as well. Now, here's what's especially special about this Neptune going direct. Think back to last year in 2024. In 2024, we had Neptune in May got to 29 degrees of Pisces and just hung out there for 5 months. So let me help you to understand. The sky consists of 12 signs. The 12 signs start in Aries and they go all the way around to Pisces. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac and Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. Each sign is divided into 30 degrees. And if we go all the way around the circle, that's 360 degrees. Neptune last year got to 29 of Pisces. That is the very last degree of the entire zodiac, the last degree of 360 degrees, and just hung out there. And now here we are as Neptune stands still at the height of his power, closer to the earth than it might otherwise be, and goes direct in the same part of the sky. Whatever's happening right around, really throughout this month, Neptune's going to appear to be standing still, though technically goes direct on the 10th. It is the days leading up that we tend to feel the most. But it is in some way likely that whatever's taking place might hearken to what was taking place for us in the second part of the spring and throughout the summer of last year. But it's also possible that whatever is transpiring now, there is that energy there of needing to be honest with ourselves, even if it's hard. And even if what's happening now harkens to what was taking place back then, it still might have unique properties at this time. Now, here's something else to take into consideration. As Neptune stands still and goes direct in this part of the sky that has to do with wealth as well, the financial settlements, financial agreements we make with others, the way we share money with others. This might be part of what comes into focus, and where it is that there has been in any way not clarity, not honesty, that is going to reveal itself. It's going to feel quite apparent. Most Leos will not experience this financially at all. Most Leos will experience this more related to what is taking place with your own sense of understanding of what's got to change, where it is that you're ready to move in a different direction in the best possible sense. Now, the ancients would say the 29th degree and 28th degree, sometimes even the 27th degree is taken into consideration. These are what are called anaretic degrees of any given sign. Every sign has anaretic degrees. And the ancients would say that when we have important phenomenon at an anaretic degree, the matter has been decided. And what that means is it's a very fated energy. It's not so much energy of you taking the reins and making something happen, but rather it's about the allowing to see what shows up, to see what it is that is now changing. And that is part of what might show up here for you at this time as well. And so pace yourself as you navigate this time. Be open to seeing what it is, whether it's personal inspiration, whether it's practical events that need to transpire, because there is truth there. And the truth ultimately is always going to lead you to something good, even if it is uncomfortable in the moment. And that's kind of how Neptune Station Direct always operates. It's uncomfortable in the moment, but it gets you to something honest. It gets you to something real. And you're grateful for that truth, especially on the other side. Now, as we navigate forward on the 16th of the month is when Mercury will leave shadow. And so think back, it was in the later part of October that Mercury entered shadow. On the 9th of November went retro. Then on the 29th of November went direct. And so as we move to the middle of the month, this is Mercury returning to where Mercury was on the 9th of November. So whatever's happening as we are in the middle of the month, this month, might in some way help you to see what was taking place back then differently in some way. But for all that, it is Mercury that is going to leave shadow in a part of the sky for you that has to do with what you want in your heart of hearts in every area of life. This sounds familiar, right? Because this is where we had planets opposite the full moon I spoke of earlier. And now Mercury is leaving shadow in this part of the sky, helping you to get very clear on how to implement what it is you're really wanting. And what we also have happening, well, it is a new moon that is taking place just 3 days later. And that new moon is in the same part of the sky that has to do with what you want in your heart of hearts in every area of life. And that new moon is at an anaretic degree. And that new moon is speaking with Neptune in a conversation of tension. And I find all of these layers very remarkable because it is about you getting honest with yourself. Ultimately, that's what so much of this month is going to invite you to do, to get honest with yourself about what it is that's going to make you happy, what it is that's going to bring you genuine joy, and how are you going to live it, how are you going to align with it. And it might involve being willing to, being able to admit certain disappointments. Even if that's hard to do, that is what you're being invited to do now, is to admit where it is that you might have felt let down or disappointed or uncertain, or where it is that you took certain chances, you took certain risks and they didn't work out or they didn't pay off, and admitting the disappointment of that, if only so that you might be that much more aware of taking more chances in a way much more consciously. Now, having said all of that, let me also say this. With that Neptune square, not the time to gamble. This is a part of the sky that has to do with gambling and windfalls, but Neptune squares to placements like this speak to losses, and that's where I'd invite you to be a little bit careful. But outside of that, this can be an important time of self-honesty, of soul searching, and of a deeper acceptance. An acceptance of what disappointed you in the past, but now you're getting to that deeper truth of what it is you really want to do. And that honesty helps you to align that much more fully with where it is and how it is you just might move forward. Where it comes to matters of love, that new moon, that Mercury, Venus for most of the month to the 24th, Mars to the middle of the month. All of these placements are in this heart-oriented part of the sky. And in addition to what I mentioned, this part of the sky also has to do with flirtation and romance and what love is for you. You are certainly going to be getting your flirt on, but what you learn about yourself in the process is part of the consideration here. So for those of you open to meeting someone new, that energy that is happening at the early part of the month on the 4th with that full moon energy opposite Venus and Mars, that to me says that there might be romantic feelings, romantic sentiments expressed with someone who is a friend or someone that you meet through friends. And it might be a bit of a mixed bag. There might be some uncertainty there. Now, whether it is mixed feelings on your part or theirs, or whether it is that sense that one person is more interested than the other, or maybe it's a good idea, or maybe it's not. Like, these are some considerations that might be there. But for all that, once we get to the new moon, yes, you are very likely getting your flirt on. However, that Neptune square says you might not be seeing things accurately. But if you can take a moment in and of itself to enjoy it or be present for it in and of itself, well, you just might be able to make use of this time that much more fully and that much more in a way that helps you to learn something about what it is you're going for in the context of love. For those of you just starting to date someone, powerful energies here, but I do think that new moon is going to be huge. And that new moon just might be all or nothing for many a Leo out there, especially if you're just dating somebody. Because in that context, this is the acknowledgement of where perhaps things haven't been completely clear, where there's been confusion, disillusionment, or uncertainty. It starts to feel as if you're able to at least acknowledge that. And sometimes this is just, plans don't work out, not a big deal, you move forward. But sometimes it can feel more consequential. It can really feel like there's a disappointment there. And I'm so sorry to say, but it does happen. But the wonderful thing is, this is a new moon energy, which means a new beginning. And whether that new beginning has you moving forward with them or not, you really are okay, very in touch with what it is you're wanting. And for those of you in an established bond, so this part of the sky also has to do with what love is for you. And again, this might be something that's no big deal, something fun the two of you had planned to do together and it doesn't work out. So there's some disappointment or uncertainty there, but it just lasts a minute and it moves forward. But for others, it might feel more consequential, especially if it is that you felt that you might not be in the right relationship for you. If that's the case, well, this might be a moment where whatever it is that you understand love to be, well, a situation might happen that leaves you feeling tired or drained or profoundly disappointed. And from there, you get to decide whether or not it's going to carry larger consequence in terms of what it is you might want to do next. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It's a powerful and meaningful astrological moment. I am going to say I love the energy of, well, let's say, I'm going to say the fact that Mars and Venus both are, for most of the month, moving through fellow fire sign Sagittarius. Venus until the 24th, Mars until the 15th. These planets moving through a heart-oriented part of the sky, a fun-oriented part of the sky, a truth-oriented part of the sky, but it's the truth of what you're really wanting, about what's going to make you happy. There are going to be moments when you think you know, but you really don't. But the overall trend is that, yeah, you're deeply connected and you're finding a sense of being able to do things that genuinely light you up, that are fun for you to do. And as a result, you feel that much more engaged with life. You feel happy. Well, thank you so much for watching. Once again, 24 Days of Giving is underway as soon as this month begins. Make sure you're on my newsletter, you're following me on social media and more. You get that many more entries. And of course, if you are one of the members over in the Superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com or thefutureismagical.com, not only do you get bonus entries when you enter the draw every day, but you also get expanded exclusive video scopes for each and every sign for as low as just $3 a month with choose your membership rate. Higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Links are in the description below. Thank you so much again for watching and have a wonderful end of the year. Have a wonderful 24 days of giving and so much more. I'm really excited about those 24 days because we're going to feature, of course, prizes, but then also every single day we're going to highlight one or two different charities. Many of them I support. We support together through this work, and other people who are participating in the giveaway, astrologers, people you've seen on my channel, and so much more. Well, they also are going to be sharing some of their favorite charities as well. So be on the lookout for all of that. Thank you so much once again, and it'll be a great month. Enjoy.